The problems affecting our Kenyan football are way too deep-rooted to ignore them. Wakenya wenzangu, we must come together. We must stop blame games. Let us come together, Kenyans from all walks of life. Let us come together for the sake of our football, for the sake of our youth, for the sake of our children. We must do something so that the problems behind our Kenyan football become a history. Wakenya wenzangu, please, let us join hands together. Let us do the best that we can for our football. Our football is in a deep mess. In terms of economy, we are in a deep mess. In terms of football development, we are in a deep mess. In terms of performance, how our national teams are performing, we are in a deep mess. In terms of developing our grassroots football, we are in a deep mess. So there is no area within our Kenyan football or in our Kenyan football that I can highlight, as an area that is doing well. So we are in a deep mess, real mess. And Wakenya wenzangu, in terms of money, football money that is coming in our country, there is none. Because Wakenya wenzangu, when you think about it, the government has just given our national team, Harambee Stars, 200 million, I think 219 million to facilitate football between now and during AFCON, Africa Cup of Nations time, which is in June, and it will be taking place in Egypt. So Wakenya wenzangu, 219 million will be wiped out within 2 months by our national team, Wakenya wenzangu. After there, what is going to happen? Because our team will still need to be facilitated. Now, this means that, again, the team will have to go back to the government again. But I keep asking, how far will this go? The government will keep chucking money, giving money to the national team. And I will say it again, it is not normal for a national team to be funded by the government. Those who are saying that is how it works, that is football somewhere else in Africa. Where football performs well, at least the federation should be funding the national team or the national teams and many other functions, including grassroots football. So in terms of economy, our football is doing zero. And Wakenya wenzangu, you remember we go back to 2014, when I remember Mariga and Ayub Timbe, it was a home game against Togo, and they refused to play. They were on the bench and they refused to play as a protest because they were not being refunded their flight money. That is 2014. You come forward, 2015, President Uhuru Kenyatta had to send money, to be given to the pilot so that the pilot can take our national team to Cape Verde. 2015, Wakenya wenzangu, remember this. So we go forward. We had the amputee team, football team, camping outside the Ministry of Sport. We have our national women team who have not been paid since July, last year July, October. The money is accruing, but I hope right now FKF is going to set money aside to pay the women. So so I hope that will be settled. But Wakenya wenzangu, you can see what I'm talking about. In terms of finance, our football is doing so bad. Yet our football is a multi-billion economy, Wakenya wenzangu. This is the truth. And I gave simple examples, Wakenya wenzangu, and I said, Scotland is a country of 5 million. But Scottish Football Federation is able to make 4 billion Kenya shilling. So how FKF say that it cannot make money in Kenya? It's something I don't understand. Because Kenya has 50 million population, or going to 50 million. If Scottish FA in a country of 5 million people, it can make 4 billion Kenya shilling. How does a federation like FKF in a country with a population of 48 million-ish saying that it cannot make any money and it needs government help? Now, FIFA funding that's going to FKF, Wakenya wenzangu, 120 million per year or close to that. Now, that's another issue. If FIFA pulled their funding today and the government of Kenya pulled out from funding FKF. Today, the FKF would go bankrupt, the doors will be shut, and everyone would go home. Maybe this is where we need to get to. And I'm being honest. Maybe we must get here, that point, so that everything is finished and we can restart again. That is in terms of finance or in terms of economy, what I'm talking about. That in terms of business and income, there is zero in our football. Think about it today. Our national team, Harambee Stars, has no kit sponsor. Wakenya wezangu, going over a year now, no one want to sponsor Harambee Stars kit. I made a video last year called "The next Harambee Stars kit sponsor will be a MIRAA farmer." Less did I know, even a MIRAA farmer is not willing to sponsor Harambee Stars. So Harambee Star has no sponsorship. Wakenya wezangu, Kenya Premier League has no broadcasting deal sponsor again. It is going over a year now. No one want to sponsor no one want to sponsor our Premier League teams, yeah, in terms of broadcasting deal. What does that tell you? Our football is valueless. This is not new. I have been talking about it. Our football, our Kenyan football has no value. And all I can come to conclude is that the people who are working within football in Kenya, within football leadership in Kenya, within the federation, football federation in Kenya, they are just in the office because somewhere the money is coming to fund the office. Otherwise, I see no point. Yeah, I want to be honest. I see no point of the federation. Yeah, going forward, I just cannot see, yeah, how we can sort our football economy without ushering in a new era for football, without sorting our football system. Now, in terms of, I want to say this, England national team sponsorship deal right now is 68 billion Kenya shilling. 3 years, 68 billion shilling. That comes to about 18 billion per year. On the other side, that's kit sponsorship, right, from Nike. Now, on the other side, Kenya, our national team, we have no sponsor at all. So, in fact, for Harambee Stars to have a kit, we are having as a country to buy a kit. On the other side, the teams like England is being sponsored. Yeah, 1 year, 18 billion Kenya shilling. And I'm saying this, if Harambee Star can get a sponsor who can sponsor them with just 2% of what the England team is getting, that is about 1 billion. Think about it, what Harambee Stars would do with 1 billion. But no one will come in until they see the value in our national team. How do we get value in our national team? And Wakenya wezangu, since 20 years ago, our FIFA ranking has remained around 105, 106, 104. Yeah? 20 years ago, we were ranked 105. Today, we are ranked 106. So, there is no value in our national team. If you go down to look our youth teams, we had a team called All Stars. That is 2017. The team that played with Hull City under 18. And they beaten Stars, all talents from Kenya Premier League. They were beaten by Hull City under 18 team. Yeah? And I still think what Hull City did to us, they put a 47-year-old man in that team to play against our Stars from Kenya. I still think that was wrong, and I still think FKF should have taken Hull City, yeah, to FIFA, yeah, and present their grievances. You cannot have a team that we are trying to develop, yeah, and then they are playing against a 47-year-old man. Come on, Wakenya wenzangu. That was wrong. But then remember, that was a project done by SportPesa, yeah. This All Stars, it was a SportPesa project. They were trying to develop All Stars, yeah, in collaboration with FKF. So I disagreed with that. Since 2017, I said that was wrong. That under 18 Hull City, because in Kenya in Kenya, yeah, the media had said that Kenya All Stars are going to play a Premier League team, which was meant to be first team in Hull City, but it ended up being under 18 boys, academy boys that All Stars from Kenya played against. But guess what? We still lost to them. From there, our team, All Stars, yeah, they headed to Iraq again. Iraq beaten All Stars from Kenya. That is not enough. They headed All Stars, went and played in Thailand. Again, we lost to Thailand. That was not all. All Stars, the team, went to Spain. They played against a team called Cordoba. They lost. They played against a team called Seville. They lost. So this team, All Stars, I don't know where are they today. I hope some of them are still in the national, in Harambee Stars first team. But Wakenya wenzangu, you can see what I'm saying. The performance is so bad and it has not improved, Wakenya wenzangu. Now, the under 18 team that went to play in Egypt, yeah, in a tournament that was organized by North Africa Football Federation. The team has just jetted back home now. But Wakenya wenzangu, that team lost all the 4 matches in North Africa. Wakenya wenzangu. This is Kenya under 17, Wakenya wenzangu. Now, we have the Kenya under 23 that was beaten by North Sudan, Wakenya wenzangu. Yeah, ile inchi ya Al-Bashir. Again, under 23, that team has imepoteza game huko. Our under 15, no, our under 15, they're in Spain right now. They've already lost their first game yesterday. So where is hope for Kenyan football, Kenya wenzangu? Where can our youth, our Kenyan youth look, yeah, and say this is a hope? We can see hope, yeah. We can see hope for Kenyan football. There is nowhere. This is even before I talk about grassroots football, which is in a real mess. This is before I talk about women football, which is non-existent. This is before I say what I said before, that professional football is going to become extinct in Kenya if nothing serious is done, Wakenya wenzangu. You've seen the issues of Gor Mahia having no money, players going without money, players sleeping under benches, Wakenya wenzangu, in foreign land. You've seen it all. So I want anyone, yeah, to tell me where is hope for Kenyan football. And I want to request FKF not to live in denial. Accept we have a problem, and then we can start finding how to sort this problem. And the way to sort this Kenyan football is not one problem. Yeah, it's a lot of problems. And to sort these problems, we must usher in a new era for football. We must begin our football. Forget what we have. What we have, let us leave it behind and call it a bonus. We must start a new way, yeah, for our football. So structurally, our football is wrong. Governance, our football is wrong. For economic wise, our football is wrong. Performance wise, our football is wrong. That is before I say about the coaching side, because I want to mention this. There was a program last Monday. I think it was on Citizen TV called Football Monday. And the discussion there was based around Kenyan players not having enough goals. Yeah, our teams in Kenya, they don't get enough goals. If you look in our Kenyan Premier League, yeah, there's goals scarcity. There's very few goals that are scored, yeah, for a whole season. Ukienda kwa Super League, the goal count is very, very low, Wakenya wenzangu, and this must tell us something, that we need to start coaching our strikers differently. But how will this happen? This is now brings me to a point where I want to say this. We must focus on specific areas of coaching defenders, coaching strikers, coaching midfielders. That means we must up our coach, how we coach our coaches, who then become grassroots coaches. We must help them so that they know how to design coaching programs for strikers, for defenders, for midfielders. We cannot keep saying that because a coach of a certain club was a defender, this is why that team is so defensive. This is why he only coached defending tactic. No, this is down to the coaching education, because coaching education should be able to develop a coach who can develop different sort of programs depending on the requirement of the team. Like right now, we need to concentrate a lot in finishing and striking, so that our strikers can know how to, how instinctively to get a goal. We need to develop lots of strikers in Kenya. For the last 25 years plus, we have not produced a good striker in Kenya. So this is an area of interest, and this will only be sorted through coaching, how our grassroots coaches are coached. We must reflect on CAF coaches education and see how we can take that component and then add something that is Kenyan, that's going to help the areas where we have weakness. So I am saying we must also look how we train our coaches so that they can develop players who are adaptable and players who are going to benefit Kenya in terms of getting a lot of goals wa Kenya wenzangu. Yeah, our football is boring. We must also work on our football style wa Kenya wenzangu. Italy football, yeah, has been dying for so long for the same problems we have in Kenya. It is not the same, but Italy football reflects what we are facing in Kenya. Italy football, if you think about it, not many Kenyans know much about Italian football. Yes, there are few good clubs like Inter Milan, AC Milan, but Juventus. Individual clubs are good, but in terms of the system, not many people go to watch games in Italy. Why? Because they say the football is boring in Italy. Italian football is very defensive, Wakenya wenzangu. Yeah, so football is not entertaining in Italy. So broadcasting deal, Italy is also not getting good broadcasting deal because of their football. It's not boring as in Kenya, but it's not good as, you know, English football, Spanish football, French football. So because of that, the boring football, there is very little goals scored in Italian leagues, Wakenya wenzangu. So we need to look further and wide, like what I'm talking about, so that we can know what Kenyan football require going forward, Wakenya wenzangu. So Wakenya wenzangu, what I wanted to share with you is to say that the problem affecting Kenyan football, yeah, is way too deep to ignore. Yeah, and it is not one single problem. We have problems everywhere, and the way to go beyond this, let us stop blame games. Yeah, let us look into the future. Let us focus on the results, how we are going to get the football that our country deserves for Kenya wenzangu. Once that is done, we are going to have sponsors coming from all over the places wanting to sponsor our football. And I want to request FKF to not live in denial, or to not pretend that we don't have serious problems. And these serious problems will only be addressed by a new football system, by a new beginning, and by ushering in a new era for football. Wakenya wenzangu, remember to subscribe to this channel and let us keep sharing information. Let us keep finding our way forward. Vision Total Football Kenya is the only way forward for our Kenyan football. I leave you in peace. I'm gone.